G'day listeners, welcome to Barkarati, the sailing podcast. It's that time of the week where we get to hang out with some really cool sailors, but of course we have to share the microphone. Well, I have to share the microphone with my two idiot mates. So first off, let's welcome in Mr. Brett Perry.
Greetings, exalted one.
How are you, bud?
Hello, world again. It just continues these time frames that you keep throwing at us, Jay. the organisational skills of yourself, I don't know. Anyway, here we are, 6 a.m, all good.
Yeah, that's it. Stop your whinging. Let's bring in the other bloke.
He had a voice that could make a wolverine purr.
Mr. Nick Bice.
It's like a game, BP.
I know. It is.
We'll go into it in a sec, but yesterday Jordan was talking to me. It's like, when should we bring our guest in? Should we do it at like a normal hour, 8 a.m., 10 a.m.? No, let's do it at 5 a.m. That'll be way better.
Well, we've got to do some work.
But let's paint the picture. You can see it. The listeners can't see it. I'm literally sitting next to our host, Jordan Spencer, in my pool shed in Adelaide.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's a big
and
grind.
you've got some stories too, off there. It's been cracker.
It's only been one night and our voices are a little bit trashed already, so we may have had a little bit of fun.
We won't go into the stories about last night, but we've kicked off the Dockside Festival last night.
Yep.
It was the first of the SA Sailing League, and a whole bunch of entertainment in the heart, we call it, the heart of Port Adelaide. So just down and off we went. We kicked things off. We had the Defence Industry Cup, sailed in the Elliott Sevens. Then we rolled into like the opening of the festival and then the SA Sailing League, of which Jordan was commentating on.
Yeah, so it's live streaming for all those, but this will be launched after it's happened, so there's no point plugging the times. But the reason we're recording today is that if we tried to do it tomorrow, I don't think we would have made it. So
that's what I was going to say. Yeah, it's Saturday morning. It would have been a bit rough tomorrow morning, but well done, guys, and well done on what you've achieved. Awesome.
No worries. Good fun. All right, I want to bring in our guest because we've been long time mate with this bloke, but bounced around the world with him quite a bit, and when the last America's Cup coverage was on, he was front and centre and running the show for the New Zealand TV there. I'm just trying to remember TVNZ. Sorry, mate. I was just trying to remember what the technical term was there. TVNZ is what they're called, and on the chase boat, giving us all the insights, and a man very well connected in the sailing world. And we see us, we saw him a heap on the ocean race, and now he's part of Sail GP as well, and not a bad sailor in his own right. Want to bring him onto the show and give us a laugh because some of the best stories are about to come out of this guy because he's just done something super cool. But bringing into the show a good friend of ours, Jesse Tuke. How are you, bud?
G'day, guys. I'm very good. Thanks for having me.
Oh, Jesse Tuke.
Jesse Tuke. Oh.
I thought we had Blair.
There's so many.
I thought we had Blair Tuke on.
Who's Blair Tuke?
You know, the guy with the gold medals?
Yeah, he's just Jesse.
Oh, this is, yeah, no.
This is my mate Jesse.
No, Jess, great to have
What
you
do
on,
you mean
mate.
medals? There's only one.
Good to have you on, mate.
Yeah, good to be here.
Great to have you on, mate. Because we won't touch on it straight away, but there's some stuff you just blew my mind the last time I saw you. So I'm super excited. I know BP will go off. I don't think I've even pre-warned him about this. So you're going to cross right into BP's passion project. So first off, New Zealand sailing, mate. You and your brothers are probably half the New Zealand. How many? What do you got? 4 of you in there?
Yeah, 4 bros, all pretty connected into the sailing world in one way or another. But yeah, I think it's for a lot of Kiwis, it's pretty ingrained. I mean, New Zealand's not a big place. You walk about 3 steps out your front door and you hit the ocean. So you're kind of thrust into it. You have to love the ocean in some way or another. Yeah,
you do. And do you?
Yeah, I absolutely love it. I mean, we were very fortunate to grow up right on the water up in the Bay of Islands, up the top of New Zealand, and and every kind of early childhood memory was out on the water, and whether it was out sailing on a boat or just kind of down in the front lawn going onto the beach and hooning around with boogie boards, pretending that you were boats, and it was just literally everything was. Every day you got home from school, it was hit the water, and just that's kind of probably hasn't continued as much for me.
Right.
I probably found myself happily sunbathing on the beach a bit more these days, but still just love getting out, going down to the water, and we're pretty lucky here in New Zealand that we've got some like you guys over in Oz. We're pretty lucky.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What was the were there boats up on that lawn, mate, or the oldies had a boat just moored out the front?
We mum and dad, or dad had kind of always sailed through his life, and then they had a boat that was a charter boat actually up in Fiji, and that was kind of a thing that we kind of every few years or so we'll do a trip up there and go up to the islands and have a sail around, and that was just as cool as it gets, sailing around the islands and kind of getting out of I guess the mainstream of Fiji and getting out to the little villages, and some real epic times. I remember, like, a thing that we'd always do is we'll take up like 2 boxes of deflated rugby balls, and then each village that we'd stop into would blow up a rugby ball, take it in with a few other goodies for the village, and then have touch rugby games with all the locals on the beach. And of course, being Fiji, it's just one touch and then hand over. That's why they're so bloody good at sevens, because they can keep the ball alive.
So you're responsible for Fiji dominating.
Yeah, at least dominating New Zealanders for a good patch of time.
Wow.
I bet there was some smiles on the kids' faces when the rugby ball arrived on the beach.
Yeah, it was. No matter what else you had, it was just there's a brand spanking new Gilbert rugby ball. We're stoked.
I love it.
There was we didn't get into like sailing super early. There was time on the boat and stuff, but it wasn't until kind of I think Blair was probably 11 or 12 or something like that, and I was maybe 9 or 10 and maybe even a couple of years after that, to be honest, that we fully got into sailing and got a boat. Blair got a P class, and I got a little opti.
Oh yeah.
And that's kind of where we'd started.
So because you're the youngest, aren't you? Because
yes.
Your other 2 brothers are the oldest. So
yeah,
I guess that you and Blair would have been out doing the P class and the opti. What were your brothers doing? Were they sailing with you? Or were you too young?
Maybe they weren't. Maybe mum and dad left the best for last and waited for us. It would have been too bloody expensive to try and buy 4 boats. So they just waited till the last 2 to push them into an expensive sport.
Yeah, I love it. So did you like sailing from the start, or it was just your natural thing? You didn't even think about it. It was just what you did as a kid, mucking around on the water.
To be honest, not really. Like Blair was doing it, and I enjoyed going out on the water and sailing and like being out there and going fast, and that stuff was really cool. But it was all the other shit that went with it that I really struggled with. Rigging up a boat has to be down there and one of my least favorite things to do. Even through school when we were kind of doing teams racing and stuff, I'd always really tactically turn up to the boat club 30 minutes after everyone else, so that the boats were all rigged up and ready to go, so I could just jump in and go. But
Rockstar from day one.
Yeah, right.
I'll always remember when I was getting into the opti, Alex Maloney, she was, she's from up where we're from, obviously gone on to do much greater things than me, and maybe this was why. Where we were at our house, we could see where the yacht club was, and if we were having training in the afternoon, I'd wait for Alex to get down to the boat ramp, have the boat all rigged up, and actually head out sailing, and that's when I'd finally go down, rig my boat up. So she would have already done about an hour's training before I even got out there. And then we'd do about 30 minutes, an hour training together, and then she would stay out there and I'd go on because I was cold at that point. So would go on for the shower, and maybe, the proof's in the pudding that she's gone on to do greater things than me in sailing.
You mentioned the teams racing. What high school was that? Because they were quite prominent. Is it Russell or?
Yeah, so that was Kitty Kitty High School.
Yeah,
they dominated the interdoms and for years and the nationals here. But Blair and I actually went down to school in Auckland. So Blair had sailed for the Kitty Kitty team for a bit, but I'd done a little bit. But then we moved down to Auckland, so I was at St Kitts down in Auckland. And we did, we had a good team that kind of built up. And my last year of school, we came over to Oz for the interdoms. Pantsed you guys as per.
Yeah, I was out of school by that time. So
yeah, and I'd never done teams racing.
I honestly, teams racing for me. Someone that was kind of struggling on the solo aspect of the sport, the mundane of kind of rigging up your boat on your own and not having that camaraderie, because it can be a bit of a boris in some, especially if you're just going down, but practicing tacking on your own for 3 hours. But you jump on the teams racing boat and you've got a mate beside you, and then you've got 5 other boats that you're all in close quarters with the whole time. There's way more chatter. There's way more banter. It's fun. There's contact. It's a real cool. I honestly reckon teams racing is one of the coolest forms to get people into sailing, because it is a bit more team like.
Yeah, just what you said, you pants the Aussies back then. I remember looking at one. I looked at one of the photos of your team, and I saw Brad Ferrand was in there. I could recognise that face from the youth. Do you remember any of the names of the Aussies, so we can put shit on them next time we see them?
Yeah, so that was actually that year I jumped in a team with Ruben Corbett, Brad Farron, and Pete Burling. They put a team together to go over to the Teams Racing Worlds, and so that was up against all the big dogs of Teams Racing, and that was over in Perth,
right?
2009. And the Aussies, who was in the team? Parker was there.
Oh.
Parker was in the team.
2009.
Yeah.
Yeah.
School. Yeah.
Parker was
I'm
in the
showing
team.
some age now.
Fang.
Yeah.
Fang Warren. Dave Gilmore.
I was going to say one of the Gilmores would have been there.
Oh.
I've never seen so many black flags dished out to one guy.
I love it.
And Charlie Enright was on the US team.
Right.
Charlie Enright. Right,
Yeah,
okay.
he was there for the US team. That was pretty cool. And when we reconnected later on during the ocean race, he was it was nice to reminisce back to that moment.
Yeah.
I think I was an absolute little shit back then, so he was probably like, "Oh, you again."
Yeah. I love it. Well, geez, we got a few Aussies we're going to give a bit of grief to, letting the Kiwis take that down. But pretty.
Now, to be honest, I'm pretty sure we got third at those worlds. The Aussies might have got second.
Oh.
I was waiting for it. You might have got the cues.
I don't know. It was 2009. It was a long time ago.
Different version of pantsing.
It's more shorting.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so that was sort of the end of your schooling. So you went on to you did the university degree, mate. You're an arty sort of bloke. You've done the theatre thing,
Yeah.
What was the motivation there? What was the goal when you went into your degree, mate?
Yeah, well, I always kind of threw, like, sport was everything for me, but
Right.
I kind of had the artsy side where I like to be a bit of an idiot and joke around and be up on stage, be the centre of attention. And I think that maybe comes from being the youngest child,
Could be.
having to fight for it a little bit. But no, I just always loved that side of things, and whether it was doing a theatre show or a musical or improv stuff, it was just a really cool form of stuff, and like just get a really good buzz from it. like you finish a show and you're doing it live in front of a crowd, and you finish it and you've done a great show, and you just got this real buzz from it. And I get that same buzz now from doing live TV stuff or emceeing and or awards nights, and you finish it and you've kind of been under the pump, you've been delivering a script, and then you finish, and then you're away. You get that a really cool buzz from it that theatre gave me. So that kind of pushed me into doing a theatre degree. About halfway through my degree, I thought, maybe I'll get a little bit of substance behind this thing. So I brought some commerce into it as well, just to sprinkle a little bit of life skills on the top. Not that a marketing degree gives you any of that shit anyway, but looks slightly better on paper.
Did that translate into the sailing side? So when it was time for you to protest on the water, it turned into a bit of a display, and you had all the umpires in stitches, and it's like, we'll let him off this time for sure.
Him again, yeah, no doubt. Like, I was probably the most flamboyant protester out of the lot. I'd pull that red flag out and look more like a matador, bloody with a raging bull.
Everyone's got their little red flags, and here it is, this massive thing.
Yeah.
I've just got you in one of those pink and gold costumes with the tight skin, standing up, arching your back.
Because for us, I think for me and Bicey, you just suddenly turn up on the ocean race doing emceeing. I think we shared a stage occasionally, but you were doing a fair bit, and you're just there and you're just shining, mate. You're onto it from day one. Like, had you done any sort of, apart from your theatre and drama and you're prancing about when you're protesting, or was it just, and then they shoved you on stage, or had you always wanted to do that, or what?
No, that was real baptism of fire. After I left uni, I was working for a sports drink company, and the owner of that sports drink company actually did the delivery of the race in Auckland. Tom Mayo and Calder, and so through that they kind of were looking for an MC, and Tom was just like, do you want to do it for the Auckland stopover? I was like, yeah, that'll be good. Let's do that.
Speaking of baptism of fire, those two bastards, I'll tell you, Tom and Grant.
Grant particularly, Tom.
Yeah,
we should talk to those.
And that was it. It was like, cool, you're on. And then I remember the first day that I was on in the race village. It was the Aussies were playing the Kiwis in the cricket at Eden Park in the ODI, and it was a really good game. And just the race village had the game on, and it was absolutely packed. And then there was a massive show, and that was just, it was almost a really good thing getting thrown into it. It was like, okay, this is it. You've got a packed house. Go for it. And I was bloody nervous as hell. I remember just the microphone shaking. I was doing this interview, and I looked at my hand, and the microphone was just going off like a rattlesnake. And from there, I was like, okay, well, the nerves are gone. Let's just have some fun.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, it's just continued on, and as I said, we end up with you on TVNZ and the whole thing, and you continue to shine. The thing that I want to ask before we get in depth with some of this, have you ever had any difficult interviews? Like, let's say you're interviewing a sailor. Who's the sailor that just gives you the most corporate speak of all? And I know the answer, so I know what I'm going for here. But who gives the most corporate speak? We're going to get the least amount of character out. We need to sort him out right away.
Well, I reckon the person that tries to give me the most corporate speech is probably Pete Burley.
Yeah, that was always coming.
But I reckon I was quite proud in the stuff that I slowly got out of him.
Yeah.
You just when you know someone quite intimately, they can kind of fall as well, and go back into like you're just having a conversation with a mate. But in the same time, like I didn't want to push the envelope there. I always kind of find from watching sports interviews in the past that there is especially on the live TV stuff that's going out to all of New Zealand.
Mm-hmm.
Most people don't look at it and go, well, they know each other outside of this.
Right.
So why, it can be funny if you're just real jokey and jovial with this person. Sometimes you do need just to bite your tongue a little bit and give the mundane interview yourself, because that's what
we don't.
How about the other side then? Who gives you the most?
Oh.
I always really enjoyed interviewing Jimmy. He'll just give you what you wanted. He'll give you the controversial lines. He'll give you the headline stuff. And he'll know he was giving that. So that was always nice.
Yeah. I do want to. I just want to say to Pete, because I know he'll listen, is that we love you, mate, and we fully understand you've got to protect your brand, but we just want to pick on, because he does go that. He goes very corporate on that. So I want to give him a bit.
In saying that though, like you've said, Jess, that the more Jimmy goes, the more Pete goes. A little bit. We saw that in Bermuda when they were there. And Jimmy was kind of, you could see Pete was very protective. And then as Jimmy was opening up and up and up and up and up, and then Pete would just start digging it in. There was a bit of a Kiwi Aussie thing going on for sure.
Yeah. You're not getting anything out of me.
Yeah. I want to go to the TV coverage for the America's Cup. So, you've got Tom. Tom says, come and MC at the Volvo, then you start doing a few Volvo events, and then, the America's Cup comes home to New Zealand and TV New Zealand. How did that, have you got an agent that's setting you up for that? Or
no, I don't. I definitely was pretty lucky. So I went from the Volvo and then did, with you there as well, we did the Sailing Worlds in Aarhus in Denmark in 2018, and then that jumped into kind of staying doing a bit, and then we had the 49er and NACRA Worlds down here in New Zealand, which was done by Sky Sport, and that was my first kind of live TV coverage that I did with Anna Wilcox, who's a sports reporter down here. We did that together. Both of us had never done live TV, so we were fronting this show, and it was a pretty big show. Sky cameras for the full sailing. It was a really great event, but in terms of live TV, different being an MC at a race village. When you're actually on the live TV, you've got them in your ear, counting you down, counting you to ad breaks. That stuff's full on, and especially in sailing, you're live, and then they're like, "Oh, race delayed again. We're going to stay with you guys for another 3 minutes before the ad break." Keep mate, talking. It's sounding great.
You'd be hopeless, Jordan.
Why?
Yeah,
mate, you wouldn't be able to understand what they're saying in your ear.
Oh no, I'm
killing down here.
We've got. I'm really for the listeners, Evie Van Acker, who's a laser sailor from Belgium, who I was doing the coverage with in.
Is that a country?
Yeah, exactly. You'd hear the cat every commercial break we go to. You're coming back in, and as we're counting down in to come back on live, I'd ask Evie some really question, like one the BP just said. I'd look at her just as we're about 10 seconds ago, and I'd say, "Evie, is Belgium a real country?" And she'd just go. And she'd fire up every time, and then we'd come out of commercial break, and she's like, I'm all grinning, ready to go, and she's looking at me. You go back and watch that coverage, and you see Evie's just giving me these looks all the time. But it was fun. It went well, it's good fun, I reckon. I like that ability when you have that conversation going on in your head of other stuff, and they're telling you got this coming and that coming, and the ability to just continue to speak smoothly. It's a real art, but I actually quite enjoy it.
Yeah, one of the best ones was during the America's Cup. It was the Christmas race, and they had a couple of days really struggling for wind, and they came out to me. They're like, "Okay, Jesse, we've got nothing. No one's in the studio right now. We need to drop out of these commercials. We can't hold them anymore." we need something. We're coming to you, and this is like 10 seconds. What do you got? And at that point, we were just right next to the Team New Zealand boat, just gone for a look. So then I start doing this thing. I'm talking about the boat.
What, the haka?
Pointing at people on the boat. And I'm just, they're just like, great, this is great. And it looks really nice because the camera was moving, looking up and down the boat. And then I didn't realize I'm looking back at the camera and I'm talking, and the guys started to get up on the foil. They started to tow. And I just hear this, Jesse, get the fuck out of the way. And I turn around, and like 5 meters behind us, the boat's like about like getting up some space, and the whole team's just waving their arms out of the way. So our chase boat driver rips it into reverse, and I just remember turning around and like going to the camera, all right, guys, I'm going to have to leave it there. And then I just crashed out of it. And then I turn around and just see about 10 disappointed faces all just shaking their head at me, just like not happy about it.
So what did they have for you in the cup? Like, was it experienced chase boat drivers, or just someone, they picked some guys out from Sky, or you kind of sourced all that?
It was all with TVNZ, this coverage. So the national broadcasts all free to air, which is really cool. And we just had I had a chase boat driver, Simon, who had his ticket, and we just had him. He had one person that would help him every day, just as a bit of a watcher, and then myself and a cameraman. So we had a pretty small boat.
You had full free reign over the whole course, or you were restricted a bit?
We didn't have accreditation for it, because obviously during the first part of the cup was all run through Prada, through that race committee. Yep. So we being just a TVNZ coverage that wasn't international feed, they didn't get the free reign. So we'll generally just camp out at a top mark or a bottom mark in front of right up close to in front of the spectator fleet, and then between races we'll kind of just always go around the outside of the course. But that was the great thing about, especially being in Auckland, is just how close the action was, and you didn't have to go far out to see. You could see even from bottom of the course to top of the course. It might be a bit hazy, but you could generally make out in the flesh what was going on. Sometimes they'd come out to me for the sideline commentary mid-race and go, Jesse, what's going on out there? And you'd just absolutely be bullshitting, because you're 2Ks away, so you're just talking to the screen or whatever. But that's fine as well. One time they hadn't come to me for a little while, and we didn't have a toilet on the boat. Just had a little bucket up the front. I'm down in the front of the boat. I've got my microphone. Like, surely they're not going to come to me here. I don't take long to pee. I'm kind of in and out in 15 seconds. What could go wrong here? Literally, as soon as I start going, it's just like, let's go to Jesse. Jesse, that looked like a big moment. What did you see? They really came splashing down there. There was water going everywhere.
You're looking a little tense, young fella.
You know the director was watching the whole time. He did that on purpose. Absolutely.
Who were your hosts in the studio again?
So we had Tony Street, who's a broadcaster here, was Scotty Morrison, who another broadcaster, and then
Australian
we had
PM.
on the couch with him a lot of the time was a mix of Phil Robertson, Pete Lester, Dean Barker. Once American Magic were out, he was on the couch every day. Who else was jumping in and out? There are a few others that kind of popped in and out, and then we had doing the race call was Scotty Stevenson, who's a bloody great caller. He called all the commentary for TVNZ, and it was real fun. Like, TVNZ had this idea and this goal to make it just a fun event. They know that sailing fans, especially the diehard sailing fans, are probably going to watch the international feed anyway, because they want to know the nitty-gritty details. They want to hear what Nathan Outteridge has to say about particular things, and they kind of accepted that early on. They're like, we want to make this fun for 95% of New Zealanders that just want to tune in, see who's winning, but between that, just be entertained.
Mm.
So that was kind of the goal for everyone, and it went really well. The viewership for it in New Zealand was incredibly high, and yeah, we had a lot of fun. Like I did very few analytical sailing crosses. Pretty much every time they came out to me on the boat,
Having a piss.
I'd found either having a piss or I found another super yacht to go, crank some tunes, talk to people, and just get the atmosphere stuff. So it wasn't all right. Let's talk about that critical moment and that upwind.
Yeah.
What did you see? There was that.
They've got a boom under the deck. Who cares? Mate, they got a boom box on the deck. We're going to listen to those bastards.
That's probably a really good point you just made then, Jess. The atmosphere. I mean, let's talk about that for a second. I mean, obviously COVID was still playing a bit of a havoc, but what we got from here was it was generally really exciting on the water anyway. It was pretty cool.
Oh, I couldn't believe how, especially in the America's Cup, just how many people bought into it and were out there. That day that the Kiwis won it, it was just insane. Everyone was just fanging around. It was honestly like you go back to those old school, ocean race days, Whitbread days, when everyone goes out to meet it, and it's just this massive trail of boats and behind. But outside of that, just on the days that there was quite a few days where there wasn't racing, and it was just you just go around and everyone would just be out playing in the water, fishing, just having a good time. There was some drinks drunk on the Hodaki Gulf during that America's Cup, that's for sure. And
that'd be.
You'd look at some people and you'd just see them and they would be absolutely on one. And our camera guy would pick up colour shots the whole time, and he would just find the most sunburnt, lick it up people he could, and just put them on national TV. It's supposed to be at work.
The other thing you guys do. It'll be the most ridiculous boat, like there's a boat that just shouldn't be out there, like when everything's charging and there's somebody out there in this like 8-foot, 2-inch freeboard vessel, that they're going to be underwater. It's classic New Zealand.
Classic New Zealand rite of passage. I'm going to take the shittiest old boat I can out to watch the Volvo boats come in, the Whitbread boats or the America's Cup, and drink as much Lion Red as is humanly possible, and make a good time. But the good news is, Jess Tuke will get me on camera.
find my way home. Yeah, it was there were some sights, and one of the most incredible things. You've got a small percentage of people that would run away when the camera came out because they were obviously meant to be at work or were skiving off or something. But most people would just have these moments where they would do things in front of the camera, and you wouldn't believe it. There were people that were happy to declothe in front of a camera. Just absolutely, I couldn't believe it. You throw a camera on someone and it's like they possum in the headlights. They freak out. It's like, what do I do? I can't just wave. That's not fun enough. Like, so what I'm going to do? I'll rip my shirt off.
Oh, that's a challenge for you today, Jordan, with the live stream.
Their shirt off.
No, well, that, or it's kind of a bit like almost poker in a sense. If you see a certain manoeuvre, you got to take off one article of clothing for the live stream.
The new commentator's game.
We're trying to fit a few things in today, Jess, with the coverage. So we're not just doing sailing coverage. There's a foot-long sausage roll eating competition.
Great.
Yeah, great. There's good stuff like that.
Yeah,
so.
Good TV, this one.
Yeah, I'm all about that.
First half's a bit boring, but the second half she ramps up.
So tell us, post Cup, has this now turned into full-time career broadcasting?
Yeah, it kind of looked promising for a little bit, and then with COVID getting into full swing, I stepped away from the Sail GP stuff because it was just way too difficult to keep travelling and try and quarantine back into New Zealand every time. So I've just, in the last one up in Dubai, was my first one back with Sail GP. So that's been really cool. But yeah, I'm quite keen to I'm still always going to love sailing and always want to be involved in whether it's Sail GP or America's Cup broadcast or ocean race stuff. because it is just it's for me it's the best sport. It's a really great community, and love everything about not just doing the coverage of the event, but everything that goes around it. So yeah, I always want to be involved with that, but at the same time, I do want to kind of branch out a little bit and get away from the sailing niche and get into some more mainstream TV stuff and what that might be. Not 100% sure yet, but yeah, would love to kind of be in that hosting role and in other capacities as well.
I've got an idea for you, Jess.
Here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Don't make it too public.
Stand by, Bicey. We've got another one.
What you should do is you should go on some sort of like celebrity show, and like do some sort of TV show where it gets your brand in front of everyone and do like really well in it. Have you thought about doing that?
I've thought I'd be good at that. Yeah.
So
you're no good at telling lies. You're no good at telling lies.
First Sight or something.
Yeah, Bachelor. No, you're a taker man, so you wouldn't do the Bachelor. Married
at First Sight.
No, you wouldn't do that.
No.
What do they do? Survivor? No. What do you do over there? You do Treasure Island or something, isn't it called?
Celebrity Treasure Island.
Celebrity Treasure Island. Here we go. This is where we're going.
Jeez, it only took us 36 minutes, 35 seconds to get here.
I love it, mate. This is the funnest thing ever. Like, so, one, I love the fact that you're a celebrity. I love that. I can't believe we're talking to a celebrity.
It was news to me as well when you asked me.
Especially after that one night in Den Haag, I believe it was, Jess, right?
Yeah.
Prize giving night after the ocean race.
Yeah. I'm a celebrity there. I know about New Zealand.
Be on the Dutch Survivor, mate. That'd be awesome. So
yeah, I think they call it a wanted list.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, let's
wanted.
Now BP will be through the roof with excitement here, but in New Zealand you don't have Survivor. The actual original version of the show was Treasure Island. I think a New Zealand lady came up with the idea.
Yeah, Julie Christie.
Yeah, and so you do Treasure Island over there, and the sixth season they decided to do Celebrity Treasure Island, and the next thing you know, Jesse Tuke is ready to go. Is that how it happened? What happened? How this all? Because on BP is just going.
It was about this time. About this time last year, I got a message from one of the producers just saying, "Look, we've got this show. Your name's come forward. Are you interested to hear more? Flick us your email." So I did, and then about 10 minutes later, I get this email through just saying, "Look, would love you to be on Celebrity Treasure Island. It's not guaranteed yet, but you'll make the short list if you say that you're keen." It's going to be on a beach up north. You're there for 4 weeks, with a bunch of other celebrities and sleeping under the stars. They made it sound so bloody good that I emailed back within about 10 minutes and was like, "Yep, I'll do it." And yeah, they were like, "Cool, you've been cast and we're heading off in February." So it was a pretty quick turnaround. And at that time, I didn't quite realise what I was getting myself into.
But
obviously, Dancing with the Stars was full.
Yeah. But hang on. So you go to sleep on a beach up north. So it sounds like you just described your childhood, mate. Like you were just going back up to your home.
Well, literally, they describe it's like you go.
That's what you thought.
You play miscellaneous beach games all day, and
that's definitely your youth.
Yeah, and it's like that's it. And I absolutely frothed that. Give me a ball, give me a random stick, give me the most random thing, and you can entertain me for hours.
Give me a bucket, a spade, and a boogie board, and I'm away.
So talk us through it, Jess. You head up north. They drop you off on a beach.
Yeah. So
what's the next move?
Yeah, you split into 21 people, split into 3 teams, and then from there it's just team on team challenges, and you win rewards, whether it's fishing gear or spaghetti and condiments or whatever it might be,
Right.
Tinned food. So you got that side of things, and then you've got these elimination challenges. So if your team's the winning team, you choose 2 people from the other teams to go up head to head against each other, and the loser goes home. So slowly you go from 21 just get whittled away down till there's the top 3, and then you're digging up treasure. So the whole concept is there's buried treasure, and you're all trying to just get as many clues as you can to find that treasure in the final hunt.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
and
Did you
my
take
game
like
plan was just like
the natural leadership role within your team, or you had to mix it around, or you played a strategy game?
Yeah, so the leader is has immunity. They can't be put up for elimination or voted out or anything. So my game plan early on was just sit in the background. No one knows who I am, for one. That's pretty bloody easy. And as long as I don't stick my head out, I'll be pretty good. And it was a lot easier to do than I realised. Everyone was just happy, clashing pretty early on in different ways, and or not clashing, but they'd also be like, "Yep, put me forward." I'm this person, coach. So instantly, these people were just putting their
personalities, natural personalities come to rise. Yeah,
yeah, like good on you, but I'm here for the long game. I'm not going to put my hand up too late.
Yeah, nice.
So yeah, it kind of went through, and it got down to they merged into 2 teams and kind of all got shaken up a little bit there, and I ended up in captain position at that point. And then we had this big, what they called the Celebrity Treasure Island Games, and everyone went individual mode for this one day, and they had a series of challenges that went from 16 to 8 to 4 to the top 2, and the winner of that day got the biggest prize in Celebrity Treasure Island history.
1 kilo of spaghetti.
Yeah. To be honest, I probably would have preferred that, but the prize for me was I opened up this big stone structure, and sitting inside was the treasure, and I was the one that had to go bury the treasure.
Oh,
Know where it is, but then try and keep this thing a secret, and keep the other 15 people off my back who are incredibly suspicious. So I went from this like nice, fun person, happy to just watch everything in the background, to deceitful, lying bastard pretty quickly.
well,
I guess
growing
the
up as a
question- the question
Kiwi
that-
does have its benefits, I
I was
guess.
just going to say exact same thing.
The question that everyone wants to know is, though, when you're out there, I mean, it's 4 weeks. You're saying 4 weeks. Is it 4 weeks of just hard work?
No, like I probably thought, being Celebrity Treasure Island, there'll be a few kind of niceties thrown in there, but it's just not. It's like, this is your hut. You are literally sleeping on this kind of army hammock thing for that whole time with a woolen blanket, and it's got no sides on the hut. So when it's pissing down with rain, you're getting wet. And you're on ration rice and beans. So unless you're winning food challenges, you're eating shit food the whole time and battling. But we try, we did a bit of foraging around the rocks and got some kinners and some crab, and that only goes so far though.
It's good TV.
But
good.
it's way more raw.
Real world.
Hang on, Jordan,
way
what
more
did you
raw
say?
than I realised.
Reality TV is good TV. Did you just say that? So I'm a bit of a reality TV fan. How long since you came back and then it was actually broadcast that you had won? Like, did you have to...
You gave it away. Gave it away.
Keep it on... Oh, sorry. Did you win? No. So how long between... or it was pretty much day for day?
Yeah, so we filmed in March last year, 27 days, and then it started airing... Oh, sorry, March this year. Started airing in September.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a 3-month,
Wow.
2.5-month exercise, 10 weeks on telly.
Wow.
So I only a month ago did the whole show wrap up. So it was like, you bloody forgot what happened half the time. And that was the shit thing, is that you've got 15 cameras that are recording for 14 hours a day, just a huge amount of footage. And in that time, you're doing challenges, but you're doing these big sit-down interviews, and then you're doing these on-the-fly interviews where you're just getting in-the-moment stuff. So you're doing all this crap. And then when you sit back on the couch at home to watch it, you start having these memories of things that you've said, and there's a whole lot of footage. So you're like, there's a chance they might not use it, but there's a bloody good chance they will because you said it. And it was an anxious 10 weeks watching it back because you're watching all this stuff unfold and you're kind of forgetting what happened and what the fuck did I say then?
Is Mum watching? Jesus.
Yeah.
There must have been some controversy, like in house. There must have been some, and as well as that, there must have been some people that were not getting on very well.
Yeah, there were definitely clashes of personalities. Fortunately, I wasn't involved in any of those, but yeah, some people really clashed. Nothing super bad. Like no one had any fisticuffs or anything, which is good, but also would have been great TV.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was nothing too bad. One of the funniest ones was when I won the big prize. With that, I won a luxury night's getaway.
Right.
And they're like, but
they put sides on your tent.
No, they go, but we're gonna let you take one person with you. And the most socially awkward thing ever. So I ended up taking the person that was in the final with me, Siobhan, not realizing how awkwardly romantic this setup was going to be. So when we turn up at this thing, it's this little shitty motor tent thing, this bright orange, and there's fairy lights set up, there's pink rose, there's champagne. It's like we've gone on our honeymoon.
An outdoor blow up spa.
Yeah, no, there was a bath. There was the bloody flower petals in it. And then we look into the room, and there's literally just one. There's two single beds, but they may as well be a double because they're just side by side. And I remember watching that episode back with Julia, and we had a whole bunch of mates around home that night as well. And I was just like melting into my seat.
Could have been a different conversation if you chose to take Stephen with you, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't have looked good for your personality.
Yeah.
I just want to clarify one thing. So, because in my mind, when I see these sorts of shows, I go, okay, they're foraging around on the beach, and they've got portable loos out the back, and you go to portable loos. You're not digging holes in the sand and doing that. Is that right?
That's literally about the only thing that is, right. A luxury of sorts. But
and then
when we got to the final six, though, final six, we ended up in a different location,
and all that was gone.
That location was literal middle of nowhere. There's your spade. Resembled, dig the hole, koala off the branch.
Yeah, a leaf to wipe your ass. The other thing I've got in my mind is that you're all surviving. You're eating eating rice and beans, and then just literally over that sandhill is the crew's full catered lunches, and you can smell it all and all that sort of stuff.
Hear the generators.
Yeah, they were actually pretty far away. So like it would have been like a 3K walk to.
It's a walk I'm willing to make.
And don't worry, someone did. Dame Susan Devoy, great New Zealand sportswoman who dominated the squash arena for years and years.
Yes.
She was on the show, and she was like the great thief. She pretty much would every night would go out, like raid little like old hunting shacks or things, and come. She found playing cards, or she'd find newspapers that the security guards had left around, and she'd always just like every morning she'd pull out from like her bag of tricks just different things. And she like when if one team had lots of food that she was on, she was going and walking to the other camps, which some of them were 5Ks. She was walking that distance in the pitch black, dropping off Tim Tams that had been won as prizes, pineapples. She was an absolute hero.
Yeah.
Joan of Arc.
Wow.
So who else was alongside you for all the Kiwi listeners as far as, they probably watched it.
We had, in terms of people that were quite close around me, was Ron Cribb, ex-All Black Ron Cribb.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a legend, still good mates with him. Dylan Schmidt, he was a trampolinist in the last Olympics, won a bronze medal. real legend of a guy. That was kind of our little crew. We had a bunch of kind of comedians and actors. So Guy Montgomery, Karen O'Leary, two of the funniest people I've ever come across.
Guy Montgomery, we see him on Australian TV occasionally. He's funny. He's funny.
Yeah, he's one of a kind. Absolutely. Yeah. But he was first bloody gone off the show. So that was a shame. In the kind of pointy end was a good group of people. Cam Mansell, who's a radio DJ here in New Zealand. Siobhan, she's an actress. Siobhan Marshall, known for Outrageous Fortune.
And camping out with you in a romantic tent.
Yeah. Now known for
just picking off the petals that are stuck to her.
Yeah. And then in the final with me was guy Elvis Lopete. He's a phenomenal dancer. He's over in New York at the moment, choreographing Rihanna's Super Bowl show.
Oh wow! Yeah,
that's pretty epic. And then Courtney Louise, Shortland Street actor. You've got to have. Classics. That's pretty much you have to have
someone from Shortland Street for sure.
Yeah. And there were a lot, lots of other amazing people on there. But.
So, how's our sailing podcast going?
Crew. Yeah,
pretty good.
Who cares? We're into it. It's good stories. But I mean, if the people are listening, go, when are you going to talk sailing? We're happy. We're just having a good conversation. I'm interested though
because it all comes from sailing.
Yeah, that's right. Bicycle.
It's the pathway. There's more to the pathway than just sailing.
I'm interested from your perspective, BP. What you put a lot of thought into this. This is something you wanted. What strategy would have you?
No, I didn't put a lot of thought into it. It just happened.
Okay. What would have been your strategy?
Probably the same. Yeah, I thought about it.
Go quiet.
No,
quiet.
No way. You were not sitting in the background, just being quiet at all.
Oh, well, then I would have been head chopped off in the first round. Right? Depends if they threw some red wine at me or not.
Did you get red wine, Jess?
Yeah. So.
Well, that changes it. If there's red wine involved, I'm head gone.
I won. I was won a few challenges and most of those involved in one way or another, either red wine or champagne. So I was able to get a little bit of a shine on a couple of occasions.
Oh, I love it.
Very funny, very cool. It's a cool story. I actually, just to say, I got to the final of the Australian Survivor, and unfortunately, I had to miss the last tryout because I had to go away for work. But
final of auditions.
Yeah.
Just
pretty funny to get that far, to be honest.
Oh, that would have been bloody epic. And that's the thing, Survivor, I think, didn't go amazing here in New Zealand because it was just probably too intense. Whereas the Treasure Island stuff, you actually see a bit more personality. It's a bit more jokey and fun. So, yeah, there's. I'll bring some sailing chat back for you here. When I had to go bury this bloody treasure,
right.
They gave me like 5 minutes to cool, you've got this big sandy basin, sand dunes up north, and they're like, cool, you've got 5 minutes, you can bury this, and then you've got to come back for it in 18 days time if you make it that far. So I'm in this sandy basin trying to remember when I went out bloody fishing and Dad was trying to find his his marking spot, or you're out and
line up the red roof with the green tree.
Yeah. So that's me there. I'm lining up, and you couldn't just bury it next to a landmark. So if there's a distinctive rock, you couldn't put it next to it. It had to be 10 meters away. So I'm out in this basin, triangulating all this stuff, trying to get my spot. And I think production at that point, they in their heads were someone's going to get this prize, but they're not going to be able to come back into this bloody literal sand dune and find this thing. And then when I'm down, looking, finding all my points, I think they're shit. We might have had one here.
When you've requested from production, have you guys got a sextant? I want to use a bit of trigonometry if I could.
I want to see the map though. I want to see the map you drew.
Yeah, it was a random bunch of notes in these logbooks that we got a random bunch of notes that someone found at one point and were like, what are you writing? Like shrubby bush, red,
Yeah.
red
Why do
tree.
you want a red apple around the green bush?
It was,
15
but yeah,
steps
when
due
it
east.
came to the final, there was 3 of us, and you still had to go through a bunch of challenges through the day.
Right.
Using your clues that you had gathered, and then it got to the final one. There was one big final challenge where you had to orienteer to find where you went. So that wasn't really a challenge that I was going to do. I just walked straight up to the spot, threw the spade in the ground, and 2 digs, and I hit the top of it.
Ching, ching.
Literally,
You've hit the treasure chest.
Straight off the bat. I couldn't believe it. I thought I was going to have to dig a reasonable. So I got a bit lucky. I kind of just got to the spot, dug.
Would have been great footage though. The face.
Yeah, they kind of drummed it up because it had to look a bit more intense. But my spade did break actually on the second one, and I sounded like an idiot. I couldn't use my words properly because I was pumping with adrenaline. Instead of saying my spade broke, I just yelled, "Spade broke!"
So what's come out of the back of this, Jess? Like you walk down the street and it's like, Jesse, is there like a fan club, people camping out in the front of your house?
So probably the coolest thing that came out of it was you win prize money for your charity, and the whole thing's around charity. Each person represents a different charity. So I won 100 grand total, the big prize for Live Ocean for Blair and Pete's
Good
charity.
Cool.
So just really established myself, and I've got them under
now
my
you're on the
thumb
board
for the next little while at least.
And you'll get deeper interviews now.
Yeah. That was epic, and cool to do it for something I really care about. But yeah, it's definitely from a personal point of view opened up some good doors, and want to get into a bit more mainstream stuff. Still had the sailing stuff that I love doing because that really is my passion, but hopefully do, make it a full-time job like you were saying before, and be just broadcasting full-time. Because at the moment I live down in Tauranga, and when I'm not doing GP or ocean race or cup stuff, I am lucky that I've got work. My partner and her brother have got a building company down here, so she's my boss, throws me out on the tools, and I don't really have the hands for a builder, so
You're looking for
I'd much rather hold a microphone than a hammer.
But it's like, Jess, it's time to dig some foundations in. Spade broke! Spade broke!
Spade broke!
Jess, time to hammer some nails in. Hammer broke.
I love it.
It is funny, like the recognition thing. I kind of thought it might be there, but it's been quite funny. Going up to Dubai was pretty soon after the very end of the show.
Yeah.
And I was in the airport, and this lady comes up, and she's got a Women's Day magazine, and
with you on the front cover with the
as
spade.
part of the contract, we pretty much the winner had to do a exclusive with Women's Day. So she's got this big spread of me, and like me with all these bloody photos in white linen sitting on rocks on the beach. And she said, can you sign my Women's Day? So I'm there like signing this thing. Like what does my life come to?
Can you sign my
Do you
Women's
carry
Day?
your own Sharpie around?
No, but after that I was like, I think I need to, because I'm signing my face with a ballpoint pen, just ripping it in pieces.
Oh no.
But yeah, that was followed by a kid that wanted me to sign his forehead, and I thought, well, I'm not doing that.
You're drawing the line at foreheads for kids and boobs for people not
that's
your
fine.
wife.
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty fair line to draw it at.
I love it.
So
it.
the
Very,
broadcasting
very cool.
side, we talking sport in particular or general?
I think I'd be quite keen just to back away from the sports in general, and do some, whether it's a game show or or hosting reality TV stuff. I saw what Matt Chisholm and Brie Thomasell. She's an amazing Kiwi Aussie, and she just won New Zealand TV Personality of the Year. So that's a win for the Aussies. We commandeered
have a over. You're welcome.
But they were so epic at their job, and just looked like they were having having fun, and it is, you can't have 21 contestants and 15 cameras and 50 other production people sitting around for you to not know your lines or just be like delivering stuff when it needs to. So they were a high pressure job, and I looked at that and was like, I think I want to be doing stuff like that. And like reality TV is bloody good. I bloody like it.
Hey, now we're talking.
It's real.
We might do
That's
a
the
spin-off
thing.
of
Like,
this
it's
podcast, Jess. You and I just talk about reality
genuinely
TV.
real.
It's genuinely real. Come on. Come on.
No, like it honestly is. And like people, that's like the biggest question people ask me. They're like, how real is it really? Did you know? Someone asked me the other day, so like, how long beforehand did you know you were going to win? Like, when did they tell you? I'm like, it's not scripted. It's, you don't need it, especially on Celebrity
you could
Treasure
play
Island,
on
where there's
that
enough
one, like,
personalities.
All those years at school, acting school, all this sort of stuff, did it seem genuine? Well, I'm a good actor.
And 50% of people on there were actors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Wow.
But it was fun. So it was a win for all the has been. Didn't quite make it sailors out there, so that one was for you.
All right. Well, that brings us beautifully back to, because we're sort of out of time. But from a sailing perspective, what's next for you, mate?
Off to Sail GP up in Singapore in a month's time. But yeah, personally, I really want to get back into it a bit more. I've got my wing foil set up now. My brother he's working for Armstrong Foils and got me a setup for my 30th birthday. So
cool.
I'm really enjoying the wing foiling. Going back to like not wanting to rig up a boat, it's bloody easy. 10 minutes just pumping up a bloody wing. Like, I can do this. This is my cup of tea. So yeah, gonna jump on that in the summer and try improve a bit. But that's really fun. And then looking ahead to next year, there's a bunch of events obviously to get involved with here in New Zealand, and Sail GP Christchurch one of them. So really keen to do a New Zealand broadcast outside of the GP stuff, just a 1 hour show leading into that. So we're working with some networks at the moment to try and get that over the line, and then looking ahead, who knows? I'd love to say that I'll get a gig doing the Cup and can go shack up in Barcelona for 4 months.
Well, I think you've missed a bit of a trick, Jess. You could have come here to Oz, to Lake Gardner, for the land speed record and hosted the ultimate reality TV.
Yeah.
Imagine all those guys out there living in Mount Dare Station. That could have been a good gig.
Yeah, that would have been. I feel like on that show I had sand in places that I never had sand in before. And I reckon those guys and
got
that
salt
bloody
in
speed
places.
test, they've got salt in places, art places, and there's going to be some. They're going to leave there with clogged arteries.
Or
Just
very,
breathing
very
in.
well preserved. Glenn Ashby's going to live to 187 years old.
Has anyone gone and checked on them?
Oh, we kind of see a bit here and there, but yeah.
We get these media releases, but I never see anyone on the bloody land.
There's not much out there, mate. It's a gutsy call to go out there. Lucky it's not super hot yet for them. It won't be long. Give them another month. They'll be bright red little New Zealanders heading home. I tell you, they'll be shining red.
Little scorched Kiwi.
I hope Lenny's had his hat on.
That's true. Cool. All right, mate. I think we got to call it there. But as I expected, an absolute ton of fun having a chat as per usual. I appreciate you coming on the show, my friend.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for having me. Sorry if there was the one thing on the show I got shit about, talking way too much to the production team. So sorry if I dragged out here.
No.
Oh, and you want a life in broadcasting? I think you're on the right track.
Yeah. Talking.
Sailing broadcasting, perfect.
I've got this.
Take it from Jay. Take it from Jay.
I've got this image of Jess coming over to Australia and doing breakfast radio, and the show will be, in breakfast radio over here. They've got these stupid. Everyone has stupid nicknames, but you'll be Jess and Bazza or someone like that. You'll be working with a bloke called Bazza. I can see it.
I hope so. Sounds like a bloody great
Good
guy
bloke,
already.
Bass. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, mate.
Absolute weapon.
I know we've got Whippet already. That's already done. There's a bloke called Whippet does it. Yeah.
Oh, that's what they called me on the show.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
You are lean.
Darlene.
Yeah. Little Whippet.
Awesome, Jess. Thanks,
Okay,
mate.
Yeah. Good on you, Jess.
Cheers, fellas.
Well
Lovely
done,
work.
mate. Yeah, cheers. So this is the interesting thing here. We're talking about pathways in sailing and where sailing can actually take you. It's something we don't talk about. We talk about where they come from, where sailors come from.
Right.
We don't often talk about where you can go to.
Mate, it's just reality, mate. It's
reality.
life.
Reality TV. So all sailors can end up at reality TV. No.
Oh, can you imagine a full Survivor style show with all sailors? Oh my god!
Oh, there'll be
Yeah, it normally
GPSs
is
and-
from about 6 p.m.
Yeah.
There's a few polar bears involved.
No, but the point is, that there's definitely pathways after sailing or that include sailing, and it's just interesting that it's a good thing we did.
Yeah, obviously spend a fair bit of time with Jesse, and he's always so friendly and so approachable, and always good for a laugh. Like he's and I knew he'd be good. It'd be good regardless of what we spoke about. I didn't give a toss what we spoke about, and I mean, I'm sure the listeners would have enjoyed that.
No question.
And if you ever bump into him, just say good day, because he genuinely is a great bloke. You'll have a ton of fun chatting to him. So it's good.
Here.
Yeah,
Very
cool.
good.
Other events. Let's move news in the club events news. I guess we sort of have to give a little bit of a plug. We're going to talk a lot about the Hobart coming up, but at the same time, I do want to raise discussion about up my way near me, Southport Yacht Club, which is one of the great yacht clubs on the Gold Coast of Queensland. For the 2nd to the 6th of January is the Sail Paradise Regatta. So we just want to raise that as a discussion. So if you've got any interest in that, and you like sailing big boats, yachts,
sailparadise.com.au. Check it out.
There you go. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
5-day
Great
event.
place. Great place to sail.
Yeah, it'd be magnificent. So it's never cold up there. It's always warm. It's always perfect conditions. Winds are never super strong. So you'll have an absolute ball.
Whoa. So you've flown in from Queensland
Right.
a couple of nights ago.
Yeah.
The weather was a little bit dodgy, you were saying?
I forgot about that. So for the listeners, I had to fly to Adelaide to do this festival with Bice, and the night just before I got on my plane, a massive storm hit my house, and I've lost part of my roof. And
But it's never windy.
no.
It's, yeah.
Never seen it like this before.
Anyway, I left the wife to fix it, so we're good.
She's up on the roof with a hammer.
Yeah.
Broke.
Hammer broke. Got the tool belt on.
I'll tell you what,
Nothing else, just a tool belt.
I can tell you exactly what happened. That she did not get on the roof, but I reckon 5 blokes turned up super quick to help her out, so she was fine.
Very good. Nice one. Okay, moving on.
The other one is, so that's 2nd to 6th January. This next weekend coming up, the Mission Bay Yacht Club, which is in San Diego, and I think we've all spent a bit of time in Mission Bay, their Hot Rum Regatta.
Oh,
Sounds good. Sounds
the
good.
middle
Middle of winter.
hot rum.
And what?
Do they put it in like a one of those big coffee urns?
I don't know. We'll have to get an invite. It's the F-18s again. The F-18 Regatta.
Jeez, they're busy, aren't they? They're busy.
They are busy. Cold water on the west coast of the US. I don't know how people survive there, but
Cold water in summer.
With hot rum.
with hot rum.
Oh, nailed it. Got a website for this, have we?
just Google
Google Hot Rum Regatta.
Hot Rum Regatta. That's it.
Hot Rum Regatta, San Diego. Good luck, guys and girls.
Yeah, that'll be a ton of fun. We'll look forward to seeing the results on that one. But yeah, just thought we'd give them a little bit of a plug.
And that's after the rum or before the rum? So could you send some photos in of the results, please?
Actually, what we'll do, we'll get someone on. It should work out pretty well timing-wise. She'll be about 4 a.m.
Yeah, perfect. Well, we did 2 a.m. last week and now 6 a.m. this week. We'll do 4 a.m. next week. No problem.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Moving on. Jack Lloyd, listener of the week. Anyone got any nominations?
No, not this week. I have to say, I'm sorry.
Probably your mum, BP.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She's
Still loving the show.
Still loving the show.
Shout out to Jill. Yeah.
Top listen, she said.
Yeah, top listener.
Good.
Came
Good
through
on
on
my
my Spotify. One of your top listeners,
Oh.
Jill. So, well done.
Yeah,
Brett,
okay,
BP's
well
mum.
Well, the other one I had some interesting banter back and forwards with is Josh Torpey, who a well-known Etchell sailor, I guess, is probably, sails a lot of boats, but well-known in the Etchell world up my way, and just bringing up the whole Etchell thing. And I think a lot of frustration because he was sailing with a bloke that's got 2 M11s, including one that was newly being built. So, and we've basically lost that bloke to sailing. Like he had 3 Etchells and a bunch of fins, and he was running the full campaign. Super nice bloke, and we've lost him. And he was just talking about that whole element with this modification, the concertina modification, as I call it.
The piano accordion.
The piano
Etchell.
accordion Etchell. That not only do you have to spend all this money to modify your boat, but then you can't even do the worlds for the next couple of years. So the fix they tell you to do is still not approved.
No.
That's right. It's actually the last point in that document that you've released, Bicey, that we all had a laugh at.
Yeah.
The last point is, and by the way,
you may or may not.
Yeah.
Oh, they've been listening to us. You may or may not be able to do the worlds.
Yeah. I mean, it is.
So, do we know when the window is opening? Because we've got the Worlds in Perth in 2024, March 2024. We know there's a lot. So, is that going to be the potential opening?
I don't know. I honestly, to tell the truth, and in Josh's argument, I'm sailing one, and we're just glad that we can come down and do Adelaide.
Well, I've got some advice for you, my friend.
Yeah, what's that?
Don't do very well.
No.
And then you'll be allowed. The boats will be allowed through.
We went out sailing the other day, last Sunday, and we battled mid to top fleet, but there's nothing special. Nothing special. There was nothing special before either. But anyway,
keep an eye on this. So we'll be sure to be lamping on you blokes and just use that as an excuse to make sure that you guys can sail in the worlds. Doing it for the class.
What you need to
doing it for the class.
Doing it for the class. Yeah.
When you set up the piano accordion Etchell, when you're setting it up,
it's tuned in F.
In F. I was just going to say, how do you tune it? Like, is it A?
There's a tuning
A
fault.
flat, F.
No, my voice is actually suited to F. The song that I play on the start of this show is tuned in F.
Yeah.
So it works well.
Okay.
So always an F. Always an F.
That's how I've got. That's kind of how I visualise it. You guys are.
It also gives us a slightly tighter forestay.
Can you just give us that F so we can other Etchell sailors can know?
Running at night, yet through the sea.
Everyone's awake now at BP's house.
Sorry, kids.
Oh dear, makes me laugh.
It's hot time with Bice.
It was a bit loud, was it?
Oh, hot time with Bice, let me tell you. For the listener, you can't see this, but we're sitting in my pool shed. That can go places. Anyway.
Must be nice.
We've got the
chlorine's in the background with a pump.
No, we've got the soundboard here.
Yeah.
And Jay just pressed the button and it blew my head off through my headphones. I almost got distracted. I couldn't rip my tracksuit pants off.
That's all right. Go on. There they go.
Okay, so we're a little bit different today, as you know. It's been head down with the Dockside Festival, getting things kicked off. And I'm going to you with this, Jordan. Last night, you've got 4 slots for the sailing, SA Sailing League. So that's what we're going to talk about. Last night was 1 qualifier. We've got 1 this morning,
and one
this afternoon, and then the finals tomorrow, which is meant to be honking. As a matter of fact, we had the VIP night last night as part of the festival, and I'd said, also in front of the general manager and the president of the Cruising Yacht Club South Australia, we want it to be honking, like a lot of wind for the finals. We want carnage. We want it all going on, just to get it going on. Get my mate here to my right, Jordan Spencer, really fired up, and just talks through what you saw last night, what the teams are looking like, and because this is going to air after the finals, let's see if your predictions come true.
Okay. Okay, well, so it's interesting. The Sailing League format is quite interesting. So, as you say, so there's 15 teams entered here. So there's 3 qualifying rounds of 5 boats, and to get to the final, the top 2 boats from each qualifying round are going into that final, right? And so you've got 2.5 hours of sailing, and they bang in the races through 15 minutes apiece. That probably ends up chewing up about 20 to 25 minutes in total between races. So you get quite a few races. I think we got 8 races in last night.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. And in really light winds last night. And the interesting thing was, if I honestly saw the draw, the split of the teams and the layout, and I've just said to both Bicey and Harry, I said, have you rigged this draw? Because it's almost like if you could concoct a draw, it's what's happened, because the draw last night was full of young there was a few young hotshots in that draw.
Yep.
And they came to the fore. The young hotshots that you'd think would probably are the next emerging talents. They're the top 2. They came through. Then you sort of got a mixed bag sort of set up there's a mixture in round 2, and then in round 3, like if you could pick the top 3 or 4,
name a couple of families in SA who'd be at the top of their game.
Yeah, but BP.
We know the Higginses are in there,
right?
Yeah, so 1 Sandy Higgins. Yeah, correct. Who else? Put it this way, I wouldn't have gone that way.
Oh well, there's Deuce.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, who else would be
We got
competing?
Craig McPhee,
Alex Blacker.
So
don't know them, but
Craig McPhee is a brilliant sailor. Like he's a very talented sailor. He's right at the top of the Tasers for years and years, like fighting for world champs. Dominated the Herons, funnily enough, but they actually, they're straight
out of the Rainbows.
Yeah, straight out of the Rainbows into the Herons. But anyway, Craig, I can tell you, Craig is a really, really switched on sailor. And then Alex he's just built a new Sharpie. Yeah, so I think he's a Goolwa boy. But anyway, the point is that third round, you'd think you've probably got your top 2 or 3 actually in that third round, and it's going to be tough to come out of it, because one thing I will say about the boats, it's not just about the skippers, and these 7s require really good crew work, because it's short, intense, and that's where we're seeing the passing, because obviously we're sailing on closed waters. It's stadium sailing. I often talk about at the very top level, when you're doing Sail GP, you explain 90% of the races to start, and you would say the same here. But in reality, what we were seeing yesterday was you weren't winning the race by winning the start, but you were definitely losing the race by losing the start, if that makes sense. And you
comments from Supercoach.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult to sort of, but there were still plenty of passing lanes out there and opportunities, and every time a boat, there was a lot of mistakes. If you go to the live stream, you'll be able to see. You can highlight when you'd see them coming off the bottom mark, and you'd see a boat go in one direction. You can see them making mistakes really, really clearly, and you see the boat lengths gained and lost. From from a tactical perspective, from a developing a skill set perspective, it's a really good watch. The coverage is great. So we got onshore cameras, but then drones over the top, so you get a really good clear coverage of it. But it's good fun. It's going to be.
Where do I go to watch this? Have you got a link for us there, mate?
Live stream. Just go to Dockside Festival Facebook.
There you go.
As a matter, for the listeners, the festival's over. We still don't have Jordan's prediction of the winners and losers just yet.
Yes.
But
well, the issue is, we know. I don't know whoever's been doing the most practice and sailing the most in the boats. So the best organised crew is going to win. So all the sailors are pretty close. That was the other thing. The points were really, really close. Like going into the end of yesterday, first was the young Brighton Seacliff team led by Ben Hicks. And then the next teams, after 8 races, there were 3 boats trying to get that second spot, and there was 1 point between them.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's
All right,
really, really intense.
So let's put your.
Well, I don't know who's been. I've been living in Queensland, so I don't know who's been training. But my natural inclination is Sandy and Juice will come out on top. That's that
experience. You're saying experience is going to pay off.
Well, I just don't know. When we did this last year, Juice had an inexperienced crew, and it didn't perform. And so Juice, you'd rate Juice against. I mean, when he's got me on the boat, he's been unbeatable.
Actually, we might drag Jordan out from the booth to get on the boat, maybe.
And when
live commentary on board,
and the same with Sandy when he's had me in the boat, it's been unbeatable. So.
Yeah, it's been good.
When Jordan was sailing the Heron with Craig McPhee, unbeatable,
mate. Absolutely.
Anyway, sorry about that. That was just a bit of fun. But anyway,
so what you're saying at the moment is you do think Sandy and Deuce are going to come.
Well,
through, if you were on board, it'd be a given.
Yeah, no. What I'm saying is that it's down to the crews. Don't underrate the importance of crew work. Those perfect kite sets, getting perfect jibes. Not making mistakes, clean drops. So the more practice you have, the better you're going to go. But you can't make the tactical mistakes.
Funny about that, isn't it? The more practice you do, the better you go.
Yeah, but there's still tactical mistakes being made. And Juice and Sandy won't make those. Craig McPhee won't make those mistakes. Other people will. And I think come the final, so this is the interesting thing. In the final, everything changes. So in the qualifying, you're trying to add your points, get
Round
your
robin.
points.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're trying to get, it's like a normal sailing regatta where you're trying to get the best score, right? Mm-hmm. In the final, there's one practice race, which it doesn't count to the score. They all have to sail, and they all have to race, and they all have to finish. And then there's 3 races, and the last boat in each race gets eliminated, right? Yeah, right. So you got 6 boats going, and then after that first...
Love it. So cool.
One boat goes, then the next, then the next. And then you end up with a final.
3 boats.
3 boats, whatever order you finish, that's the decision.
Straight to the podium.
Yep.
That's good. Love it.
So it's a whole different ballgame.
I know it's Sunday night right now, but I'm going to watch it today.
I reckon Sunday will be great, it'll be good. I hope some of our listeners find it, but anyway. We'll publish it and get people. But it'll be good watching.
Put it on the Facebook because a lot of people are on our Facebook. Put it on there. Put it on there. I'm sure you've got it on there already, guys.
Yeah.
Rightio. Moving on. Speaking of practice, one boat that has been doing a lot of practice is the Andu Comanche, who recently took out the
looking forward to this
Big Boat Challenge.
Looking forward to what, BP?
Just everything.
So Herman, John Winnick Jr. led the team to a concisive victory ahead of the other Super Maxis, and then at the Big Boat Challenge, and then an old stablemate, shall we say, of mine, the Willow, took it out on handicap.
Yes,
so
very good.
Yeah, so
very good.
Yeah, Jesus.
I actually did manage to sit down with a mate of mine last night who was out on the race course and has taken some cracking photos.
Right.
So I'll try and get hold of them and get them up on the Facebook because They were just not a non-professional photographer, but geez, there's some good shots of those boats fanging around the harbour in 18 to 20 knots of breeze.
Doing 27 knots. I'm reading here. They were doing on the day. So Comanche, Law Connect, or Speedboat, or Loyal, or Perpetual, whatever the bloody hell it's called these days. Followed by Blackjack, then followed by Wild Oats in the 100-footers. So shaping up for a bit of a cracker.
Absolutely. It's
what's your forecast for the Hobart, Joe?
Oh, the weather
forecast.
Joe? Actually, I haven't checked it again this week. I was watching because I think there could be a pressure. There's a lineup of lows coming across, and I thought, it could be interesting. I just don't know if they're going to hit, but...
I was just going to say, he doesn't need to look it up. He just needs to look outside and go, another low coming. So that's about 4 days.
I can't
see.
4
days times
Thanks,
4
climate change.
16. So that, yeah.
I will say this.
Northerly.
Yeah, bravo, Greta.
All the crap I speak about the weather, and I didn't see that storm coming to hit my house.
It's because you're not looking at your local area. You're looking at the Sydney Hobart.
And just a little bit of news on the Sydney Hobart.
Yeah.
Brady Lowe sent me a note during the week.
Right.
He did the Cabbage Tree Island race. When was that? Last weekend.
Yeah.
And he said all the sunfish are lined up just north of the heads, ready to start heading south for the. They're just having a little relax at the minute.
Yes.
Just getting ready for the Hobart.
Jeez, a sunfish relaxing. Imagine that.
On the surface.
Right on the surface.
Imagine them at full board. Just on the surface.
Just about to hook into the current and just place themselves strategically across the course.
Talk about the Cabbage Tree Island race. Apparently, I haven't seen the exact results, but something like top 7 of the top 10 were double-handed.
Yeah.
Cheating bastards.
Yeah.
Cheating bastards. I tell you, we should actually review this rule.
You reckon that?
Mate, it's like you guys, if you turn up here with your mould 11.2 and win, no chance of doing the Worlds. If the double-handers keep winning, no chance of being part of anything ever again.
We're not coming down there to win. You know that. We're coming down to see you.
So let me just point something out that this is probably something World Sailing should be aware of, right? And people need to probably start investigating this a bit. But Mould 11 controversy. Who's sailing a Mould 11 boat out of the 3 of us?
One, Bravo, Peter.
Right. Okay. Now we're back into double-handed controversy.
Bravo, Peter.
Yeah.
I'm just in the thick of it, aren't I?
Love the controversy, don't you?
World Sailing should investigate Brett Perry.
Oh, no, thanks. Keep that one out.
Yeah, they may already be doing that. Sorry.
Cut that out.
We're not cutting that. No.
Like when we get our guests on, if you say something bad, we can cut it out. Yeah, we're not cutting that out.
We're not cutting that. Do you what?
Beauty.
But good to see the double-handeds out there having a crack and enjoying their sailing. I must say I was there at the club yesterday and they're just a jovial group, and I think it's really good for sailing.
I agree, 100%. More power to it. Yeah, I think if sailing don't get massively behind double handing, they're going to miss out on a huge opportunity. It's definitely the way. And anybody that owns a 28 to 35 foot boat out there would be just the value of your boats have gone up on the second-hand market, I reckon. So otherwise, just buy an X2.
No, buy an X2. Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
X2.com.
Well, Match Racing Tour final starts this week, I think. Sydney Harbour. What are we? We're going
Isn't this meant to be hot time with buys?
Huh?
Isn't this meant to be hot time with buys?
Oh, sorry, boss.
Oh, no, I'm done. I'm cool. I'm called right off, bro.
Oh, cool, mate.
Yeah.
I'm cool, mate.
I'm cool, mate.
Tracksuits are off. He's cooled down.
Okay. So starting on Wednesday, out of the Cruising Yacht Club of Australia, the 14th to the 18th is the final of the World Match Racing Tour. And I don't know, we don't get much coverage from this anymore. I used to love watching it, and it's a shame because match racing's fantastic. Danish, Estonian, French, Italian, Australian, New Zealand,
K1s.
and the States.
Yep, the K1s are there.
The K1s are there, yeah.
Yeah.
K1 W1s. So in obviously the Elliott Sevens that they have at the Cruising Yacht Club. So if you are in Sydney, probably a great one to go down and watch. BP, do you know anyone in Sydney?
A couple of people, yeah.
Yeah. Probably, I don't know we need to do much. I just want to raise it for people's awareness. It's on, it's happening. It's not in Etchell, so, it'll probably be a fair result.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, these early morning records are good, aren't they, BP?
No, well, I've been to gym this morning. I did actually work on my shoulders.
Oh, good man. All right. Okay. All right. Big congrats to our mate Dylan Fletcher.
Yep.
Yes. How cool's that?
Winning the world. We had a good chat to him on episode 166.
From memory.
Yep. Moth Worlds. Dylan, gold medalist.
He was excited about it then, and he did it. So good on him.
Yeah. He's a determined little bastard. Lucky he didn't go down that ballerina path, and we've got him as a yachty.
We did say maybe it helped him. We know we've just said maybe that helped him. You've got to be light on your feet.
Okay. Last rumour. Last thing we've got.
Right.
This is a funny
controversy
this is funny because I've got go on.
It's not controversy. Put it this way. So I own a few workshop containers back in
where are they?
They're in Portugal from the Volvo. And so I can pretty much determine which campaigns are going and are not going in the world of sailing based on me selling containers to them.
So you've sold a container to who?
So, first of all, we had the Austrians looking to buy the containers for the ocean race.
And they went away?
Didn't buy them.
Yep.
Campaign over.
Yep.
We called it. Second, we had actually Boris Herman brought some containers.
Yes.
He's definitely doing the race.
Definitely doing the race.
Yep.
That's right. Yep.
Now, third, this happened a few months ago. There was a next America's Cup team about to buy the containers.
Yes.
Didn't buy them.
Yep.
Campaign over.
Yep.
It's come back. They are purchasing the containers. So we're about to see the announcement of the next America's Cup team.
There's another team to emerge.
Inside. Now, this is real because they have bought the containers.
Well, I haven't got the cash yet, so I'm not going to say who they are because I haven't been known to put the kiss of death on a few things.
Yeah, well.
So
is that it? We're not going to know who they are.
Well, we do, but we're just going to be reasonable. We want to let them announce.
Yeah, let them announce.
We don't want to let them announce it.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, so what are you going to let them announce that they bought your containers?
Pretty much. That's how campaigns are run these days.
Yeah. But this is one. Obviously we did the Secret Pro for ages, and we ended up revealing nothing because we didn't want to create problems for people.
didn't want to reveal anything.
Yeah, like we want to be respectful to all the teams and let them do their marketing and rather than get the easy win. And we can just be smug sitting here knowing. But two, this is the critical one. There is no other sailing media organisation in the world that has invested in containers to actually
determine
know
campaigns
what's going
are on or off.
There's no one that is willing to put in the work like Baccarati. I just want to get that out there.
So I love your work. So the beauty is you've bought all these containers just to sell them to teams that are up and coming to hold the news within so that when they do release the news, you say, yep, we told you.
Yep.
That's right, Ian.
So the important thing is
we know who's
when
coming.
it comes out,
then
we'll reveal it.
We'll
go back to this.
But we believe we're certain there's another America's Cup team about to be announced.
About to emerge.
And have we got a time frame? Because the listeners are going to be on the edge of this.
We don't know until the containers are purchased. So
until we get the cash in the bank, and then I can blabber my mouth off, no problem.
Right.
Hang on, let me check my account now.
So Baccaratians, spread the word. Baccaratians, spread the word. There is another America's Cup team coming.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. And what's your source? It's just, there's some containers being picked up in Portugal.
Spicy salt.
GAC Pinder have gone and picked some containers up in Portugal.
Just checking the phone app now.
It hasn't been paid?
No, hasn't been paid yet. We'll not announce just yet. Maybe next week. Rightio. Good.
Hey?
Very cool.
Hey?
Love it. Yeah, no, that's very cool. Yeah.
You can
Very
just see
good. Well
the
done.
people at
Well done.
World Sailing listening to this guy.
We've got this completely wrong. We need to start purchasing some containers.
There's been no entry on it. There's been
So
no
one way
entry.
or another, I'm going to sell them.
You know the other
This is the only way in to know what's going on.
the other way to do this is on rib charters as well. Like rib companies is the other
Well, you
way.
had your theory about property on where the next America's Cup is, right?
Yeah, it's a massive property deal. We'll talk about that another time. Yep. But I think I think we might be done as what will go down as one of the classic episodes.
Absolute
sure.
classic.
Absolutely.
I told you blokes reality TV's where it's at.
Just like next week. Stay tuned.
Next week, pumped.
Yeah.
Oh yes,
Good.
Getting excited.
It'll be huge next week. Actually, we're not far from our 200th episode, and
Wow.
boy,
It's
am
gonna
I
be
feeling
just
confident
about-
about that guest.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Okay, let's go.
Oh,
All right.
We'll give a clue. Some people call him the Dreamboat.
Some people say.
All right,
Awesome.
okay, good hanging out, boys.
Get the guitar out, mate.
Yeah, all right.
Do it your
Quiet
way.
little early morning tune.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Cheers, everyone.